For the hip thrust set, we're going to overload your hip thrust. So first you're going to do a set of B stance hip thrusts before moving into a standard 2-foot hip thrust. Then you'll complete a B stance hip thrust on the opposite side, again followed by your standard 2-foot hip thrust. Again, that's all the B stance hip thrust reps on your left side, followed by the same number of reps with the standard hip thrust, and then moving to your B stance hip thrust on your right side, and then your standard hip thrust once again. For the dumbbell B stance hip thrust, this is a modified single leg movement. So you're going to set yourself up by leaning up against a bench that's about 14 inches tall, or would hit your back just below your shoulder blades. Set your feet so that your knees are bent, and when your hips are fully extended, your knees will be at approximately a 90-degree angle. From there, you're going to shift your weight into your working leg and prop the opposite foot a few inches forward, balancing on its heel. The majority of your weight is going to be in one working leg. If you're using a dumbbell, you're going to balance it on the hip of this working side. Take a big breath in, brace through your core, and extend your hips off the floor, pushing through the working foot, particularly through the heel. Achieve that full hip extension and squeeze your glutes to lock out at the top. Remember to keep your chin tucked, your ribs down, and your eyes forward while you achieve that full hip extension. After locking out at the top, you're going to lower your hips back down to the ground in a controlled manner. Exhale and then take another deep breath in before completing the next rep. You're going to place your feet about shoulder width apart, bending your knees so that your entire foot is solid on the ground. You're going to tuck your chin and keep your rib cage down in order to engage through your core. You're going to push through your heels and the entirety of your foot to thrust your hips upwards until your thighs are parallel to the floor. Your knees should be at about a 90-degree angle up in the top. We're going to squeeze your glutes for emphasis because we're working the back side of the body here. And then up at the top, after you're engaged, you're then going to release that and reverse the motion before repeating. If you want to add weight to this, you can simply place a dumbbell on your hips and hold that in place while maintaining that same motion.